All right, there we go. All right. Do-do-do. Setting it up. Awesome. Oh, one more. There we go. All right. Awesome. How's it going, everyone? This is Judy Vergata here, and tonight we are hanging out with Natalie Butler here on Entrepreneur in the Spotlight. You see, Natalie is a lipstick packing national sales recruiter. She's a leader, she's a trainer with Avon, and she is about to drop some major value here tonight. So, Natalie, give us a little bit of an intro and give us a little sneak preview what it's like inside your world.
You know what? My world is constantly evolving. You constantly learn. Of course, there's like no wrong or right way to do it, but like being new to the game, you try all these different methods and then you struggle and you're like, oh my God, I feel like giving up. And of course, I like gave up like 100 times already. I probably gave up like 10 times today, but it's definitely fun. It's a learning curve, but it's pretty much what you make of it.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You got to fail forward every single time and just learn from it and never dwell on it. So,
Exactly. Keep moving.
that's right. So, Natalie, what's your subject matter expertise? Break it down for us.
Okay. So initially, my background is actually in sales and recruiting. So I actually in HR, of course. So just to give you a little bit more information, originally, when I started with Avon, I was working a full-time job. I was director of operations at a marketing firm where I handled both operations, HR, as well as sales objectives. So number one, this is why I love this opportunity as HR representative. There are so many things that you can't say. Like so many times you really have to bite your tongue. And so switching over into being more of an independent representative, I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is my business. I can do this. So starting out, I really tried to focus in and figure out where I was going with this business. And then it just really stuck home with more so of the internet side. Because I know most people look at us and they think, oh, that's the little Avon lady ringing up, knocking your doorbell, saying, hey, Avon's calling, and everything else that the Avon ladies would do back then. No disrespect to them, but more so I built my business online. So my specialty is online marketing and focusing more so on the makeup side.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, no, you see, like you said, right? No disrespect to them, but those methods no longer work today. You just you can't force it anymore.
Exactly. It wasn't appealing. Like I said, when I started out, I was working full time. So I knew that I wouldn't be able to actually be outside doing door to doors and, just out in the field. I knew I couldn't do that because I was working full time. So I found a way to make it work for me.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And got to work smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, Natalie, don't pull anything back. Really lay it out for us. Tell us about your rock bottom moment.
Oh my goodness. So when I first started, I told you I struggled because I was HR. So initially what would happen was with this business, I would let people run over me. Like they'd be like, hey, I'll pay you when this happens. And one day I was new, so I wasn't making any money. I'm going to be honest. I was like, I was actually losing money at this time. And this lady, she ordered over $100 worth of products for me and I fronted the bill for it. And now at this time, like I'm trying not to tell my husband, like, hey, I'm losing money. And he's like, you're supposed to be making money. I'm like, well, shit, like, how do I prove to him that I'm making money? So now I'm trying to hide. And then I got really, really frustrated because like I was getting the running around. People were telling me like, I'll pay you then, I'll pay you then. And of course, like I literally was about to quit. And because I couldn't make any money, I didn't know how to tell people no. And of course, I wanted to be like the sweetheart. And I'm thinking like, oh, people are going to call Avon and report me and shit like that. And then eventually I was like, you know what, forget this. This is my business. This is how I'm going to run it. And I was like, I cannot let people dictate what I do. But what got to me was this lady where she was telling me like she was a former representative and this is how she used to do things. And she was kind of like just telling me I wasn't doing things right and I was fucking up. And I really took that to heart. And I really felt like just like throwing in the towel for 2 months. I did not do anything after this. So like that happened when I originally started back in November, and I did not even start working the business again until January. Just because she really messed my head up, because I was like, damn, maybe I am doing this wrong. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then when they see you and they say, hey, she's young, then like, okay, I can just say whatever I want to her, and she's just gonna accept it. And I'm over here trying to be all nice, HR, and polite. And I'm like, wait a minute, no, I'm not gonna let somebody run me over, because they were really going to run me down. Like, it was to the point where I was losing money.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a talk with my mentor, and it's so funny because she was like, next. And I thought like she was telling me next, like, shut up talking and like never ever connect with her again. And she's like, no, next to them, you need to be moving on. If they're not helping your business, they're hurting your business. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. But it took a while. It took a while for me to get that way. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a paradigm shift. It's all mindset, right? Like as soon as you make that shift, and then slowly but surely everything suddenly changes and turns around. So yeah,
It does.
Yeah.
So boy, do I have some stories about those shifts.
So Natalie, what steps did you take to improve upon that situation?
So number one, I had to every day, I had to remind myself, like, you are Natalie, you are going to do this. Like every day, I actually had to like give myself more of a pep talk to boost my confidence. Mm-hmm. And then each day I would start working on personal development, learning more about other industry leaders, and learning more about people that were in other network marketing companies and seeing what worked for them, and even trying to pick up some tips on how to improve if you're shy, or how to improve if you're more of an introvert. And it was more so like every single day, I would pretty much say, you know what, you got this, you're about to kick this game ass. And I would literally tell myself like, hey, this is your stuff. And it really just broke down to me having the confidence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It comes down to that, you know, the confidence and just showing up for yourself. It's something so small, so simple, but there's something profound about it.
Yeah, definitely. So like once I got more confident, then I actually sat down and then I created a schedule of what I would do. Because I realized, like, you know what, in order for you to make this business actually run, this is when I started researching internet marketing, listening to audio about SEO, and developing my own blog, and just learning how to actually work the internet once I got the confidence to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what's so far, you probably touched upon it already, but what is your most brilliant light bulb moment so far? What's that one aha moment that helped turn your business around?
Not listening to other people.
Yeah.
Not listening to other people, but it was more so because other people thought like their way was the best way and that was the only way. And of course, with this, we've been in business for 131 years. So you're going to have people that have their opinions, and that's great. It works for them. But I had to realize like what works for one person may not work for the other. And I then started learning about different ways to actually brand myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
That's awesome. Yeah, guys, she's been dropping it so far. Keep the hearts, the likes, the shares, and the comments coming in. It's we love the engagement. So
thank you guys.
So yeah, they're just watching, just sitting there. Come on, guys, keep the love coming. Come on. So what held you back from going all in your business when you first got started?
At that time, it was more so lack of confidence in myself, listening to people tell me how I should run my business. I did not have 100% support from my family. Mm-hmm. My dad told me don't do it. My mom told me don't do it. So it was more so like, okay, if my family don't support me, then, you know, of course, when they first tell you to start, like write your list of 100 people, and of course your family is on there. Mm-hmm. So when your family isn't supporting you, you're like, well, damn, maybe I should quit. And so it was just like, you know, thinking about my at that time, my current support system, and learning like, hey, you might not have support here, but you can go out and get support.
Right. Yeah. And you see, again, this boils down to back in the day that would have worked, but nowadays making that list of 100 people just doesn't work anymore. It comes off as pushy.
It
You
does.
know what I mean? Yeah.
And especially if, like, so with us, we've been around for so long, like everybody and their mama have heard of Avon or tried Avon and probably got burnt by an Avon representative. So it's like now you have to try to convince them that you won't take their money and run off, or you won't take forever to deliver their order. Or sometimes it's just like, oh, Avon, that's for old ladies. And you're like, so I wear it. Are you calling me old? But but it's just like you have to deal with all of like the negative stereotypes and people that haven't seen a brochure in probably 20, 25 years thinking that they know everything that Avon has to offer. And so it's like a lot of times it's more so a learning curve. And one thing that I learned is like, you know what, don't try to convince somebody something. And I had to really, really change my approach from from like always pitching to always listening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's like this boils down to what I always tell my students is they don't really care about how bad you need to make the sale or how, you know, how you need to really close this. Instead, they care about their own set of problems. So that's where all the listening comes in. So you'd know how to solve their problems, you know, provide the value that they need in their life, you know, may it be makeup, may it be online marketing services, anything really. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah. Like I tell my team now, it's more so like when it's what's in it for me, not what's in it for you to sell it to them, but what's in it for me to purchase from you. And if you can't provide any type of value, if you can't solve a problem that they have, then why do they want to? Just to support you? No, that's not going to work. Like you can pity someone into purchasing from you once or twice, but it's not going to be a long-term customer, and you're not going to be able to build a sustainable business like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I when I first got started in network marketing, you know, like I always wonder why do I get people that would join me and then quit before the 30-day mark, right? Before even the 30-day mark. But then now in 2020 hindsight, like you said, right? Like you look at it, then they're really skeptical from day one because, you know, like you don't have that know, like, and trust built out.
Exactly. And then sometimes if you're begging, they're like, well, she's desperate. Like, like it's a pity sale or a pity recruit. And then sometimes they'll join just to get you to shut up. Like, okay, I joined, bye, leave me alone. Right. So, and when I first started, I was running into that. Like people were joining my team. And as soon as they joined, like literally, I could not hear from them. Like 5 minutes after they joined, disappeared off the face of the earth. Like they went into witness protection. And I was like, oh, okay. So, right. I was like, so we're not friends. Okay.
Yeah. I fell into one of those things when I first got started. You know, like I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Like I buy something from you and then you buy something from me, that kind of stuff. Yeah. As soon as I signed on with her and I was locked in for a certain amount of time, she canceled everything she just bought from me. I was like, God damn.
What the fuck? I know. Like what? That is fucked up. That like why? Oh my goodness, I would hate that. But yes, people do it, and like that was one of the lessons that I had to learn too. It's like when starting off with the internet marketing space of it. At first, of course I was on Facebook, and there were so many different groups, and they were like, what do they call it, COTMs or something like that? Where consultant of the month. There we are. Where pretty much it was like you and a group of 5 or 6 other people would purchase from each other each month, and it would roll around. And I did that at first because I was really trying to get online orders, and then people would just start dropping out the group when it was time to purchase from me. After I purchased from them. And then I thought about like, they're not even purchasing from me because they want to. Like this is like mandatory at this moment. And I was like, so now you're just going to drop out the entire group because you didn't want to purchase from me? You really could have just said something, but it's cool. And then I also thought about it, like if we are all just purchasing from each other, we're not making any money.
Yeah.
Like I was like, we're really not making money at this point. So
yeah.
Pretty
it's
much
just going around and around. Yeah.
Yeah, but of course, like when you're new, you try different things, and I wasn't familiar with like Facebook. I originally sold Avon back about 10 years ago. Seeing that makes me feel old. But at that time, I would just do parties. So because at the time, like online marketing wasn't as big, so I would just do parties and parties and parties. So now I was like, okay, I want to actually do more with online. I don't want to be face to face. I don't want to be be, having a party. As much as I like to party, I don't want to have a party. And so that was like one of the mistakes I made like early on when jumping back into the game. I was like, never again.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny now, but at the time it cost us a lot of heartache, right? The newbie mistakes we've made.
Yes. Oh my goodness. The posts that I used to make. Oh, it is so embarrassing. I can't believe I used to post some of those things. And of course, Facebook, they don't make it any better because they have the memories. So the memory pops back up. I'm like, oh, I was so bad. Huh? I was like, I am not going to share this again.
I know. Yeah, every time I see my memories from like just when I first got started, right, a little over a year and a half or so ago, I was like, motherfuck, why would you even show that to me?
I was like, damn you, Facebook, like, why would you do that? And I was like looking at these messages, I was like, oh my God, like, no wonder no one purchased from me. I was like, I wouldn't even purchase for myself now that I see that. Like, what the fuck? Like, I wasn't even using the product at that time, and I was just like posting crazy about it. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, don't even get me started on the copy and pasted spam messages that I just broadcasted out to like 100 people.
Oh my
That
goodness.
is embarrassing.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's just, and I would do, and not only would I just like copy and paste it, then I would share it in like 100 Facebook groups and then wonder why I got kicked out the Facebook group. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, what happened to this group? Groups just started disappearing on my list. And I'm like, what happened? I try to rejoin it, like you're blocked by the admin. I was like, oh, that's not how you're supposed to do it, huh?
Okay, I get it.
She's like, you could have just told me.
I know. Yeah, they're embarrassing. And now in my marketing, I always scorn those hard sell popped up message. I'm like, who are you? I don't know you. I scorn them in my marketing now, but I'm like, wait,
like
I'm scorning myself.
But that's the growth. That's the good thing is you can look back and say, hey, I actually evolved. Yeah. Like if it's a year and a half later and you still don't see a problem with that message, then we have a problem.
Yeah. So Natalie, what's the best advice you've ever received?
Be yourself. And it's more so about building your brand, building trust, building relationships. So just like we were talking about the copy and paste messages and the hard sell, like that's not going to build a relationship. It's not going to instill any type of trust. And when you are dealing with this type of business and you have so many network marketers or so many direct sales representatives online, you need something that's going to be able to stand out. You need something that people can relate to. If they don't relate to you, at least they understand that this is truly who you are. And they're not going to be able to see that with a copy and paste message. Like it's crazy, but now I absolutely loathe copy and paste messages. Okay. But it's like, being myself in regards to just building my own brand and being true to myself. Like this business can be so fun when you are yourself. Like if you're going to try to be someone you're not, then you're not going to want to do it every day or every other day. You're not going to have the self-discipline if you feel like you have to step outside of your body in order to do something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. That's I always get messages, students just telling me, Judith, it's just impossible. You can't possibly, all the cool ideas out there for a brand has already been taken. I'm like, no, it's not. You're lying. Just be you. Build a brand that is you. That's the fastest way to build a unique brand is you, because there's only one Natalie. There's only one Judith. You're the only one who has your point of view of things, and I'm the only one that has my point of view of things. So there you go. That's your unique brand right there.
Right. How can you already be taken? So it's just be true to yourself. Like, and that's what I love about it is, so I'm kind of silly. I'm kind of smart, but I get to mix all of that in. And if the person doesn't like it, oh, well, like maybe that person wasn't meant to work with me. Yeah. And that's one thing I had to learn too, is about rejection. Like, okay, if that person doesn't, because at one point I always wanted like 100% acceptance. And I didn't realize like in life, you probably only truly get 1% acceptance. Like no one is going to always accept you. No one is going to always agree with you. No one's going to always see your views. No one's always going to have the same interest as you. And so when I was going out for the 100% acceptance, I was trying to be more so like a chameleon, and I wasn't being true to myself. And that's where I really, really struggled online, is because I was looking for the next person to kind of tell me what I wanted to be in that moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such an easy concept, but at the same time, I don't understand why sometimes it's just hard to grasp but then again, they're newbie and all that stuff, right? The newbies, it's just a hard concept for them to grasp.
I think a lot of times it's because you have the leaders in the industry and you see what they're saying. And so you want success. So you try to go out and you copy exactly what they're doing. Or you have the leaders that tell you what to do. So sometimes it's just like you want that success, and sometimes you just don't know any better. Sometimes the training isn't there. And at some point, like a lot of the people in this industry are like stay-at-home moms. And so sometimes they want that success, and sometimes they just try to copy someone else's success. And one thing that I've personally learned, especially looking at Facebook, like when you see these leaders and they make these posts and they get all of this engagement, and you look at that and you're like, oh my God, that's what I need to do. That's what I need to be. And you don't realize like that engagement comes from pretty much 90% of their team or 90% of the industry connects that they already have. So it's pretty much just like popularity at that point. And you see that post and you think it's actually working, but pretty much all it's doing is just people that know each other is just connecting and liking. And when newbies see that type of information, they're like, well, why isn't it that my business is doing that? Why isn't anyone liking my post? And like, you don't realize like these people have been building these connections for months or years. And now the people that are liking it are pretty much just people that were going to like it anyway, because they already knew them beforehand.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know about you, but personally, I kind of stopped checking those out. Well, I still do, right? Just to help my Facebook algorithm push me up a little bit, right? I still respond. I still like, I still comment, I still respond to the comments, right? But like you said, yes, there are 90% of people from my team, 90% of people from my company. Most of the time, I don't know about you, but a lot of people, you're actually inspired. A lot of people are watching you. You're inspiring a lot of people, but they just never bother to hit like. They never bother to hit comment. I'm talking to the few people that are watching right now. I'm talking to you guys. Anyway, they never bother. Hello. They never bother to hit like. They never bother to hit comment. But, they're watching you. You actually inspire them. Sometimes I run into them outside. They're like, hey, Judith. I'm like, hi, who are you?
I tell my team about that. So I call them lurkers. And so pretty much they just look at every single thing that you do. And I told them, like, this is the reason why you want to be consistent. So a prime example is I had this lady that had watched me for well over a year. Never liked anything that I posted, never commented, never sent me a message. And then one day out of the blue, she lost her job. And she was like, Natalie, I've been watching you for so long. I saw the day that you got married. I saw that you got this. I was like, what? Like, what? Like, are you serious? I didn't even know that she became a friend like 5 years ago. And apparently we never spoke. I don't even know whatever. But she was like, I saw that you got married. I saw that, your father-in-law, and she was just telling me like my whole life story. And I was like, oh my God. And she was like, yeah, I just look at stuff. I don't really comment because I'm not on Facebook like that. And it's happened several times. And I've told my team, like, just because someone doesn't immediately respond doesn't mean that they're not watching. They're just a lurker. But eventually one day we're going to pull them out of the shadows. And so don't stop, be consistent. And one thing about being consistent is in this industry, a lot of people just want to see if you're going to stick around. They don't want to get hooked on the product and then you leave, or they don't want to have to chase you down. They want to see if you're still going to be there. And then you never know where a person is at in their life, where they might not want to tell you the personal details that have one on, such as they
Yeah.
can't afford it. And, you know, because it could be very embarrassing. They don't want to tell you that they're going through a divorce or any type of financial situation like that. So you just never know where they are. And it doesn't mean that they won't come around eventually.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's all about timing. But, you know, like you also get some of the messages like that just says, like you said, right? Like you get messages like, hey, I watch your entrepreneur show every single day. Thanks for the inspiration. Blah, blah. I'm like, wait, I don't think I ever saw you live, but I guess you're watching every single day. It's like, then she's like, yeah, I'm always there. Watch it live every single day. I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
wow.
awesome. Wow. Thank you. I really appreciate that. You know, that kind of stuff. So do not get discouraged. If I also have students that tells me, Judith, I did what you said. I went live today. No one even watched. No one even bothered. No like, no comment. I'm like, that's what you would think.
Right.
You know,
Most people actually, they say majority of people actually catch the replay of the live.
Yeah.
So that's something that you want to think about too. And then also just about building your network. Like, so, okay, the current people that you have, they may not be interested. They may not be on Facebook, but that's the reason why you want to continue to build your network. And if you're going to go live, you might want to give like a little heads up. There's just no pop up on live and think that people are like, oh, wait a minute, what's going on? Give like a little sneak peek, give a little preview. Let people know that you're going to be live in an hour, 15, 20 minutes. And then don't be like me and say, I'm going to be live in 15 minutes and then show up an hour later. Don't do that. But show up when you say you're going to show up and just give people a little heads up and just keep going.
Yeah. And if you're going to do a daily broadcast, I would recommend like doing, if you're going to do a daily broadcast, I'd recommend doing it at the same time. Just like how when you're watching TV, you know that the news comes on at 6 o'clock, you know that the Fosters come in at 9 or Walking Dead starts at 8 o'clock or whatever time it starts, right? So it's the same thing. So if you tell them you're going to be live at noon, Monday to Friday, then be live at noon, Monday to Friday.
And that's going to be building your brand. They're going to come to expect that of you. Like whatever you are, whatever you're passionate about, whatever your schedule is, that's going to become your brand. That's what people are going to know. Hey, at this time, I know this person is going to be on talking about this. But also, if you're going to be live, try to provide some type of value. Don't just be on live just like, hey, hi. You know, it's something like, well, people get enough of that every day. Love drunken Friday nights where we get the hey, hi, I'm bored on Facebook. Somebody talk to me. But provide actual value and people are going to come back.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's awesome. That is awesome. Natalie's dropping it like crazy, guys. Come on. This episode is on fire. So, Natalie, what's that one personal habit that you have that's just a must for you on a daily basis?
A personal habit that I have. So at this time, I'm constantly checking in on my current team members. So my purpose now is to actually build more leaders. I have a goal where I want more people to be able to quit their full-time job.
Yeah.
So my habit is checking in on my leaders like every morning, like before I even do anything for me, which is crazy, but it's more so I have my business kind of to the point now where it's like on auto. So I don't have to do much, but just like simple little house cleaning and stuff. So I'm mainly trying to make sure that my leaders are moving up in the ranks.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, like if what you have there is you have it down to a science, man. Is that, you know, if they're the better they do, the better you would do. That's what you're doing right now. So it's all about service. It's not just like me, all about Natalie. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm like one of those weird people where I actually want to see my team do better than I. Like it's crazy, but it's just like that gives me like that great sense of pride. Like I love bringing people in this business. I'm like, look, this is how much you can make. This is how much I'm going to help you, provide a system for you to make. And when they meet that goal, like that just means like the world to me. Like I don't even care how much I make at that point. It's because I told them that this is going to happen and we made it happen.
Wow, it's powerful.
So it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah. I'm speechless right now. Wow. Not a lot of people like that, guys. Not a lot of people like Natalie. Come on.
I'm just a weirdo. Like it's just like my personal goal is to actually help people. And they're like, especially when you talk to people and you get to know them, and because you've been building a relationship, you know the things that they have going on in their lives. And if you can help out in a way, why wouldn't you? And a lot of times, like, not, so I know money can't solve every problem, but money is usually the root of most problems. So a lot of times when you hear people saying, oh, I need to, you know, I can't spend time with my kids. I'm always away. I'm always working. My shift changes. They took me down to 20 hours a week. And so you're listening to this and I'm like, I need to be able to help this person. I don't want them to sit here and feel like they're stuck. And then also another part of me is where I'm not a complainer. Like, I don't believe in complaining. Like, if you, like, why complain about something you can change? And if you can't change it, why are you complaining about it in the first place? So it's just like, you know, I want people to be able to say, hey, I fixed this. Like, I guess people like your natural problem solver or something. So we try.
Absolutely, yeah. So Natalie, before we wrap this up, give us a one parting piece of guidance. What's that one message that you believe that everyone absolutely needs to hear?
I would focus more so on attraction marketing and building your personal brand through attraction marketing. Okay, it's something that, like with my team, this, as long as you are going to be true to yourself and you're going to be consistent, you may not have overnight results, but your results will be stable. As long as you continue to get out there and you provide value. When there's so many people that are entering this industry because there's like zero like resistance to get into this industry. Like, you don't have to really interview. You don't have to really do too much. You can pretty much join today and start today. With so many people coming into this industry, a lot of people are going to be posting the same thing. And you're looking for something that's going to help you stand apart from everyone else. And that's going to be being yourself. No one else can be you. And as long as you are actually providing value to your intended audience, and learn who your audience is, by the way, but as long as you are providing value to your audience and you're working the attraction marketing methods, like, it's going to come in. And of course, this is going to involve, this is so much, right? Of course, this is going to involve you getting out of your comfort zone and constantly working on ways to build your confidence.
That is awesome. That's awesome. Like, a lot of people dismiss, I dismiss law of attraction. I've seen people, and I personally do it as well, apply it in both my personal life and in my business. And let me tell you now, it works. I don't know how else to explain it. It just does.
But when I was a kid, I never heard of law of attraction, but I've heard of self-fulfilling prophecy. So when I was a kid, that's always what I talk about. It's like, you're going to speak it into existence. And now I understand, like, the energy you put out into the universe, it comes right back to you. So if you put out negative, you're going to get negative. If you put out positive, you're going to get positive.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
Keep going and, you know, keep pushing in there. And it gets tough. I understand that. But you never, like, most people quit just when the breakthrough was about to happen.
Yeah, that's way too real. That's way too real. Yeah, like, you never know. You stop today, like Natalie said, right? Like, she had that lady in there watching for 5 years, in your friends list for 5 years, and watching her for over a year. So what if Natalie quit at the 11-month mark, right? If you quit at the 11th month mark, then she would have missed out on that connection, right? And, you know, like you said, they quit right before the breakthrough.
But then you have to think about, do you really want to throw away all of the hard work that you did that month before, the 2 months before, the 3 months? Like, why throw away all of that work that you've done?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Oh, such a powerful episode, this one. Yeah. Natalie, what's the before we wrap this up, what's the best way that they could connect with you?
They could connect with me on Facebook. I'm on Twitter, but, like, I'm getting a little bit older now. Not to say, like, Twitter's for young folks, but, like, now my time is like, okay, I need to, like, my multitasking skills kind of went down. So I'm really on, like, Facebook majority of the time if they want to connect with me that way. But I'm pretty much on every social media site.
All right. the few lurkers that are still here. Yeah, connect with
Hello.
Natalie. She's a few lurkers that are still here. She's she, as you can see if you watched the full episode, she's chock full of value. Definitely connect with her. This girl will do wonders for you, for your mindset. Let me just tell you that now. That's what I've gathered from this last half an hour of
It's been
hangout.
half an hour?
Yeah, it has
Ay,
been.
ay, ay.
Yeah. Over. It's actually 39 minutes now.
Oh,
So Natalie,
wow.
thank you so much for hanging out with us. I had so much fun. This you really dropped the value tonight, and this episode's on fire. I really, really appreciate you hanging out with us tonight.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and guys, thank you for joining Natalie and I here. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for always coming in, even though you guys were very quiet tonight. That's fine. I know. I keep calling you out on it. I'm sorry. um, guys, thank you for joining us. And again, if you don't want to miss out on the live training videos that and that I put out every single day in Entrepreneur Spotlight, I'm here 7 days a week, 9 p.m. Eastern on weekdays, 2 p.m. Eastern on weekends. There would be 3 dots, depending on where you're watching from. 3 dots, hit that. Make sure to turn on live notifications. And again, connect with Natalie if you have any questions for her, if you'd like to learn more about her. And we'll see you on the next episode. All right, guys, later.
Bye.